Hi, Extension friends. Nate Birt here, NTAE Key Informant. So I wanted to spend some time on this video for you as climate professionals talking about the Enneagram. And I suspect that you have done lots of, personality tests, work style tests, things like that over the years as part of professional development. Some people love them. I personally think they're fascinating, even though I don't necessarily always think they're accurate. It gives me some new clues as to how I work, how I might be more effective, how I can be kinder to myself or other people, etc. And so that's what I want to spend a little time talking about today. Other people can't, probably could care less. So if that's not for you, feel free to sign off now. But I do think that if you invest a few minutes in learning more about your Enneagram type and others types, you may find it as actually surprisingly effective at engaging others better, especially if you're collaborating on climate-focused programs, dividing and splitting up specific work, etc. So I will reveal my Enneagram type and talk a little bit about what I've learned and why it's so effective. I will give also credit to my business coach, Ed Gandia, for bringing this test to my attention. It's been really transformative in how I work in my own business and in how I show up to help other academic leaders, nonprofits, etc. Okay, so let me skip ahead here. I want to encourage you to take this for yourself. Essentially, the Enneagram describes how people's, I guess, are naturally wired, like how they show up in life and at work. And I think there are like 9 different types. Truity offers a free test. I've included the URL here on the screen. I'll also include it on Connect Extension in the accompanying blog post. But if you go and take the Truity test, you can get a free result. It's not going to be totally comprehensive, but it will be exactly what you need. I have personally paid for I think it's like $25 or $35 for the full breakdown based on my results. Again, totally optional, not required. The second piece here is you can go then check out Enneagram descriptions at the Enneagram Institute. And so basically, once you have your score, then you can go to the Enneagram Institute and read more in detail about, what it might be like to feel like you. And you can say, yes, this aligns with how I live day to day, or no, this doesn't. It may be that you feel like another Enneagram number is more reflective of you, despite what the Truity test says. And that's okay, right? These are really directional results that are designed to help you be more effective and at peace in your work, in your life, and to understand others better, to be more empathetic, really. Let me give you a few pointers here. So assuming you've done those things, my Enneagram number is 2. So I'm naturally wired to help to serve others. I love showing up and figuring out how I can be an asset. The flip side of that, if you will, so each of the Enneagrams has sort of a flip side. So if the bright side is helping and service, the dark side is pride, which translates to feeling underappreciated. Maybe I feel like I'm going above and beyond and no one's recognizing the good work I've done. I tend to get, frustrated or short with people, or even manipulative. And again, these are all generalizations, but, from my own experience, I will say that, hey, I love helping people. I especially love it when I see that my work is adding value and people are appreciating it and finding it valuable and validating that. But that can be a thing I have to work on, right? I have to recognize that, look, I can be valuable to others without any affirmation in return. And it's also a reminder to me to take care of myself, right? Take time to decompress, take time to take a walk or get away from it all, rather than just giving, because eventually you can be so tapped out that you have nothing left to give, whether it's on climate or anything else. So, and again, for each of the Enneagram types, you'll see some are naturally wired to be sort of hard driving. Others may be more quiet, but, research oriented, or really want to study a problem and twist it and turn it. And again, all of these Enneagrams are valuable. There's nothing that's right or wrong about any of them. It's just like, these are the ways you're wired. This is the great, when you're thriving, is how the Enneagram puts it. These are the traits you have. When you're sort of mid-range, here's what that looks like. And when you're at your worst, when you're struggling the most, here are the behaviors that can stem from that. Here are the emotions you may be experiencing. And so again, it's sort of a compass to guide you and say, hey, how am I feeling? Let me check in with myself. something really powerful that I found as I'm starting to hire contractors in my business or understand how to best engage with my clients is sort of becoming a student of human nature, right? Understanding the various people. You never want to peg someone into a box or into a corner. And again, these numbers are malleable, but if you can sort of ascertain as you study various Enneagram types, maybe over at the Enneagram Institute, you can say, well, I don't know for sure what this person might score if they took this test, but I suspect they're probably a 9 or an 8, for example, or they're a 6 or whatever. Or there are 2 like Nate. They're service oriented, helping oriented. So using Chat GPT or Gemini or one of those kinds of tools, Claude, one thing I found particularly insightful is to say, hey, I'm an Enneagram 2 wing 1, which means I'm driven to make the world a better place. So certainly help is my orientation. And then as my backup or my sidekick, I am really always striving to find a way to make things better and to really focus on taking the steps that it takes to make my clients' lives, make the world from a climate perspective a better, more habitable place. Meanwhile, my assistant is an Enneagram 3, for example. And so she is, very much oriented around achievement, like succeeding, like putting wins on the scoreboard, whether that's marketing materials or, finding new clients or, applying to that new grant opportunity. And the challenge there is that I don't want to overload my assistant because they are so focused on delivering and achieving that they can become burnt out, right? So having that awareness helps me think about, okay, well, I know this is their natural orientation. I also know it's really important to this other person I work with to understand how their role fits into the bigger climate picture of the work that we're doing. Again, not everyone is like that. Other people will have a different Enneagram score, a different way of showing up in the world. And so just understanding and sort of being like giving yourself some license to sort of think about, okay, whether they're this score or that score, like how could I show up in a conversation? How could I lead a meeting to make sure they feel included, to make sure that I am leveraging their superpowers, and to make sure that I'm not, overtaxing them or overburdening them such that they're going to, go from thriving to struggling. And so again, at the end of the day, this is an opportunity to appreciate your mold, right? How am I set up? How am I wired? Again, it's not scientific, right? It's more of a, I don't know. Nor is it like true psychology, right? It's you can call it, some might call it pseudoscience, and maybe it is, but for me, it's rung very true. So appreciate your mold. How am I wired? How are others wired that I work with? And then break that mold, right? Maybe there are things you love about your personality type. Maybe there are things that are a struggle for you that you wish you could overcome. And so I think having the Enneagram tell you, like, this is the good stuff of your personality, this is the dark side. And so you become more self-aware when you are struggling. How can I navigate beyond that? The same for your colleagues, right? When they're at their best, man, what does that allow us to do from a teamwork standpoint, doing climate work that matters for extension? And when we're struggling, how do we show up? Like, how do we support each other? How do we acknowledge that? How do we say it out loud? And then help move beyond that. So that is sort of the teaching moment for today. I would love to hear from some of you. And once you've gone through the Enneagram test, as well as reading in more detail about your Enneagram type, I'd love to know if you're comfortable sharing what type are you. Number 2, what jumped out at you as you explored your Enneagram type? And number 3, how might that inform your work and the way you collaborate with others moving forward? So again, Enneagram type, what jumped out? And how might it inform collaboration moving forward? Send me a note to natebirt@extension.org. I would love to hear from you. I hope this was helpful. Again, Enneagram is something that's really transformed my life. I probably took it about a year ago, and it's really upended how I see myself, how I acknowledge when I'm doing great, when I'm struggling, when I'm having a really difficult day. It helps me get perspective and recognize that I'm in a dark place right now, but tomorrow's a new day. It's going to be better. And I know that I'm wired to help. I'm wired to be someone who's trying to help my clients and others make the world a better place. Again, you'll have your own wiring and way you show up. and again, opportunities to move even beyond that to the degree that you desire. So thanks so much, extension friends. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you on the next video. See ya. Bye-bye.